Good morning and welcome again to Blockchain Week. This session, today we have Brittany Laughlin. She's the Executive Director of the Stacks Foundation, and she'll be speaking with Fang, the CEO of Okcoin. I'll pass it over to you, Brittany.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Really excited to be part of this event and especially excited to be here with Hong. So Hong, kick us off. How about we give the crowd an overview of what Okcoin is?
Okay, and also thank you for having us here. It's extremely exciting to be part of this event, and we also have a huge passion for promoting this to the broader, larger population. That's why we are here for Okcoin. We're building a go-to app for people to buy and hold and earn crypto. We're serving customers, retail and institutional, in over 190 countries. We currently have over 50 crypto assets and offer direct access to basically DeFi earn products through our product app in a very regulated and safe way. We're registered in US and have license in Europe and also getting license in different regions, including in different parts of Asia, including Australia. What we feel most excited about is that we are really, on the one side, building the best experience for broader population to really get access to crypto. We also put a lot of emphasis into innovations. We focus on building high-promising projects and assets to our platform, to our customers in a regulated fashion. A lot of those are first to list in regulated platforms, and at the same time really build the right gateway to the future of crypto, particularly the more decentralized side of the story. We integrated Lightning. We provided a very easy to use user interface to access DeFi protocols out there so that our retail and institutional customers can actually access stacking and yield generating services through our platform, but in a very decentralized way. So basically, that's what we are here for in this industry, and it's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of talk there about being the first point of access for new customers, and I work at the Stacks Foundation, which is a token that actually launched in the US with Okcoin. So Okcoin was the first place you could actually access Stacks tokens. That was just like a huge step forward for giving access to our community. And as you mentioned, stacking is the way that folks earn BTC with their stacks. And Okcoin was one of the largest partners to make that super simple, first to market. So you don't need to have a minimum number. You can basically go in and stack. So it's been a huge upgrade for our community. So I'm really excited to continue to see those innovations coming out of Okcoin. But before we get into the present, I wanted to just kind of go back and hear a little bit about how you got into crypto. I started in this industry in 2014, and there weren't many exchanges. There weren't many wallets. I was an early investor in Coinbase, and that was kind of the only weird place where you could be in the US and get a crypto wallet in a regulated way. So a lot has changed in my journey, but I'm more interested to hear about your journey and what it was like. Like, when did things really click for you?
Yeah, Brittany, I would say you're definitely more visionary than I was. Back in 2014, I think I probably heard about, actually in 2000, I think I heard about Bitcoin the first time in 2013, actually. It didn't click for me back then. I'm pinching myself now for not figuring it out that earlier enough. But in 2016, I left Goldman. I became a growth investor and somehow got to know about Okcoin, which back then was the largest Bitcoin and Litecoin and basically Chinese yuan to crypto trading platform in China. That was the first time I got to know about Okcoin, and that was when, as a investor, I looked into Bitcoin because that was the main asset back then in crypto space. And that was when actually I went down the rabbit hole and realized that actually this is something very unique. Not just a asset that is attracting speculators, but it's something very innovative in the way it is designed and fundamentally different from what we currently have in the financial system. And it can be a very foundation for something totally different from what we have today. So that was when everything started for me personally. So I would say, for a few years after your journey started. But yes, my journey also took a few twists. I think the 2016, 17, and 18, we went through the ICO, however you want to characterize it.
Boom, bust, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was when I started to reaffirm, get disillusioned, but then reaffirm the kind of belief in what Bitcoin is and what crypto is and what it is not. And then in 2019, I basically started to really, actually no, earlier than that, but 19, I decided to make a shift in my career choice and really jump into the operational side, because I do think that participating in building it, not just as an investor, but also as a builder, is very exciting and very meaningful at this stage. So that was how my current journey at Okcoin started, which now is no longer in China. We moved out. We basically migrated out of China in 2017. We started our journey as a regulated a platform in US and rebuild our product and our whole business around it. So that was basically my brief story within crypto.
Wow. Yeah, and now you're running one of the fastest growing exchanges, which is pretty incredible. But actually, we do have a lot of parallels, because I actually joined the Stacks ecosystem full time in 2019 as well, which I think was a great time, because it was actually in the beginning of the year, it was like a huge bear market. So I feel like the true believers came in and were like, I'm going to build something now, even after like a bunch of this stuff had crashed. So it's incredible to see what's happened. So with new people, I'm sure you get this question a lot. How have you seen like things change over time since you did join? Because I know 2019 doesn't seem that long ago in regular years, but in crypto years, it's like a decade. So what have you seen change in the ecosystem?
Yeah, I think over the particularly last 2 and 3 years, we are seeing crypto growing from a niche market to a little bit more mainstream market because of the macro trends that's happening. People are seeing more why Bitcoin is actually fundamentally important. First as the asset class, as kind of hedge against inflation, but then also as a foundation for building something different in the future. I think more and more people are starting to see it. So I think there's some paradigm shift that's happening as we speak. And because of that, we're seeing huge increase in people buying Bitcoin and hodling Bitcoin over the last 2 years. Only in 2021, we see more than 400% increase in people hodling Bitcoin. And the hodler of Bitcoin is actually increasing, right? When it comes to the crypto markets, there are always traders, and traders are, and speculators are those who are making this market more efficient than otherwise, providing liquidity. But there are also a lot of people who are true believers of certain assets of their choice and choose to hold for long-term value. And I think Bitcoin really stands out for that perspective. There are also institutional customers, increasing institutional inflow, not only for main coins like Bitcoin, but also I think institutions are opening up more to DeFi, to assets outside Bitcoin, to protocols that offer different value proposition for them. Stacks, for example, is an asset that is quite popular with our institutional customers, in addition to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Customers are looking for yields as well, not only hodling Bitcoin for future value, but also, some people allocate some of their assets to stacking to seek yields to earn APY instead of trying to kind of sell for profit because they believe in the long-term value of certain crypto assets. So they try to stack it. STX is one of the more popular stacking assets on our platform. There are some others as well. People are looking obviously at NFTs, and that's an area of a lot of controversy, obviously. Both retail and institutions, we see increasing value in that. We currently don't serve NFT on our platform, but we do get a lot of inbounds on that front, and we have a lot of partnership in the space and see people showing real interest in that for different reasons again. So I think compared to 3 years ago, when you probably see very distinct small groups, either crypto punks who just believe in the technological evolution part of crypto, or speculators who are just here for short-term profit trading, flipping. I think now you see actually a lot more different type of people, and also a lot more long-term investors and builders too. I think one of the encouraging part is that regardless of the debate of bear market versus bull market that we're currently in, are we in a mini bear market or are we in a mini bull market? There are always perspectives in different directions, but either way, I think that there's one thing that no one can deny, which is the interest in building something in different chains, right? Some are building on top of Bitcoin. The Taproot is activated. Lightning, there's a huge amount of VC interest in building Lightning and making Bitcoin really effective in micropayment. There are huge interest in Stacks ecosystem. We just recently did a Bitcoin Odyssey as well, where we see for real how much interest there is from builders and investors in this space. There are also other first layer protocols, for example, Solana and others, that is attracting a lot of builders. And I think that is something that gives me a lot of confidence in the future, a bull market or bear market, as long as people are here to actually try to build use cases and bring better value to people. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. At the Stacks Foundation, we're supporting builders with grants, but once those builders have gone out in market, some of them have grown their business and now they're looking for capital. So this Bitcoin Odyssey you mentioned, that's the $165 million fund for builders on top of Bitcoin, especially on top of Stacks. And I think, yeah, there's maybe like 20 VCs. So if you're a builder, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I think that's a great path if you want to raise capital. I know Okcoin has been leading the charge in that. I know Okcoin also has some great programs targeting people who maybe are brand new to crypto, especially categories, women are traditionally underrepresented in crypto. There's people that maybe are new to finance who are underrepresented in crypto. How do you think about helping those people get educated about crypto? What advice do you have on where they should start? And what are some of the initiatives Okcoin is working on to get new people to learn and work with crypto?
Yeah, I think that for that part, we are not going to pretend that we can do that single-handedly. The only thing we can do is to, number one, build our product really well, to help people on board easily, to help educate them and give them what they need. And that is an ongoing process. And number two, really partner with different stakeholders in the industry to promote inclusivity, to help people who are probably either not having the luxury of having the same level of access, or just need a little bit of nudge or help to get over that psychological barrier of embracing something new. So we can actually be there and help them. So one of the initiatives we are running is to run a women initiative. We partner with several players in this space, giving them funds and support, and identifying projects and individuals in the space who, number one, put education really in front of everything else, to help spread the word about what Bitcoin is, and promote financial literacy, promote NFT kind of literacy, and to get more people into the space. And number two, to really get the kind of the story out there, right? So help people understand that crypto is something new. It is still early stage. You don't have to be afraid of it. Start with learning about this, and maybe start with by putting $10 or $50 into this and see how it goes, and have skin in the game so that you actually understand what it takes to do it or not to do it. So that's what we have been working on. But again, it's not going to be us driving everything. It's really us helping the industry to have that voice by partnering with other stakeholders who actually have the expertise to bring the educational piece to more people. That's what we're trying to do with different partners and sponsorship.
Great. I love, how you guys are always thinking about like, how do you expand the circle and make it easy for more people to get in through partners? So what like personal advice do you have for someone who hasn't maybe dipped their toe in yet? Maybe they don't own that $10 of crypto yet. What advice do you have for them?
Yeah, always start with learning, right? And of course, function of learning is to actually put some money down, obviously, but start with something small. I personally, I'm a pretty conservative person, I would say. The fact that I didn't jump into Bitcoin in 13 when I first heard about it was probably speaking to the fact that I'm too conservative. But I really like starting with Bitcoin if you are new to the space, because this is the fundamental foundation for crypto, and also to all the financial life. When you think about money, how you think about money, how you think about your freedom of preserving your wealth, moving your wealth to wherever you want to, and then growing your wealth in a way that you think is makes sense. The whole money concept is basically a foundation of our whole financial system as well as our society, right? It's in invisible hand. That's that invisible hand behind everything that moves value from one person to another, and also encourage large scale collaboration within human society. I think if one can really understand what Bitcoin is versus what our current monetary system is, that would be a huge leap in understanding what crypto is about, what this third wave is about. People talk about Web3 too, but ultimately you have to start with understanding what money is about. So my advice is always to start with the most fundamental thing, and then layer on top of it what comes next. But always start, like anyone, different people can have different starting points. Some people probably are more passionate about art and creation and want to start with NFT, and others are probably having other entry point. But you got to start with something. But before doing that, there's always the old saying that you do your homework. Always do your own homework. Crypto is pretty volatile, and don't put all the liquidity into it. Only do something that you can afford in the short term, because it is very volatile.
Yeah, it's great advice. Yeah, don't invest anything you can't
I'm pretty
lose.
sure you agree with me too on that front.
Yeah, I was very good. I mean, back when Bitcoin was 200, I was very conservative and sort of buying like a little bit at a time. So I haven't, I wasn't all in, but I say to people like, okay, what would you spend on like a nice dinner or something? Maybe that amount is what you should think about starting with. So,
Exactly.
forgo the nice dinner, put that in crypto and use it as a tool to learn, to your point. So, I think I just wanted to kind of maybe zoom out a little bit with this last question. We just have a few minutes left. Is, this panel in this conversation is around democratizing wealth. And how do you think about doing that into society? And, crypto is often viewed with this idea of like, okay, well, we need decentralization in order for it to be democratized. What are your thoughts on this? Especially, you guys support lots of tokens, you support lots of chains. So what's kind of your macro view of crypto and how this is kind of changing this idea of wealth for people?
Yeah, I do. I think that's an interesting topic. One answer to your question on whether how to think about decentralization to democratization of wealth. I think one answer can be that yes, it is core to democratization of wealth. But then the other side of the coin is that it's not all, right? So it's nothing is black and white. Nothing is there's no extreme answer to this question. Probably I'm kind of running a little bit philosophical here, but I think there are two layers to this. One is if you think about how our system is being built. I am of the view that the foundation has to be decentralized, meaning the money layer, which is the foundation of all our activities. When you and me interact, or we interact with other people, we tend to specialize as the human society evolve. And as a result of that specialization, every one of us cannot do everything. We cannot go farm and raise chicken and cows and teach our own children and do everything else at the same time. We have to specialize and collaborate. And part of that specialization and collaboration means that money is the only medium to help us facilitate that. So I view money as the foundation of our society, not only financial system, but our society. So I believe that that foundation has to be decentralized. It has to be free of any third-party control or influence to make it fair and transparent and stable, so that we all have a low time preference. We focus on what we have to do ourselves instead of having to split our attention between what we have to do professionally or for personally, and be an investor to manage our money that we earn, right? So I think what crypto means is that, first of all, that foundation should be something new. We need to have a money that is really sound, that is run by math, that is transparent on chain, that is scalable across time and regions, and it's resistant to any third party, individuals or governments tampering, right? Once that is decentralized, then there is a chance for a more wealth democratization, because in a world where that fundamental money is controlled by a third party, the third party always have incentive to play it to their own interest, and the bifurcation of wealth is inevitable, and it can be quite extreme, as we are seeing with the social division that we are in right now. But once you step on top of that money layer, I think as we think about kind of different layers on top of it, there will be different levels of centralization that we need in designing the system to balance between transparency and democratization and anti-fragility versus efficiency, and depending on what we need to do. But I do believe that the fundamental layer has to be more transparent and decentralized than what we currently have. And that's why we are here for, right? Starting with Bitcoin, but then building on top of it, around it, And then there are also a lot of other innovations happening in this space that try to deliver that democratization access to more people.
You know, I love that vision, and like going along with that vision, you know, how does an individual or someone like me or someone like listening here get kind of involved with that vision? So if they're like, you know, I want more wealth distribution, I want people to have access, like what are the small steps either individuals or institutions can think about to be part of that future?
I mean, what we feel strong about at Okcoin, and I'm sure from your organization and others, you know, have similar passions. We want to make sure that more people actually understand what Bitcoin is about, what crypto is about, and have a chance to get in this early enough, so that they have a chance when there's something new that is being built in the system. They can actually be part of it early enough to preserve their wealth and to generate and create wealth for themselves and for their families longer term. Right. So I think that opportunity to learn, the knowledge is super powerful. So that's what we are here for. Number two is we want to build our product so that it's much easier to use than previously. There are still a lot of frictions in using crypto, getting into crypto, using crypto, and buying crypto, selling crypto. Just because it's very new, there are a lot of regulatory and other constraints and technological constraints too, and how to kind of shift the mentality of presenting and building the product to someone who already know the technicality of it versus someone who have no idea what's going on, doesn't need to know what's going on in the underlying technical layer, and abstract it for the most relevant value for them. So that's something that we're trying to do, right? So that actually it's easier for people to use. And that's also why we continue to evolve on our retail app. We recently added a lot of functionalities to it, making the recurring buy very easy, making DCA very easy, making portfolio management really easy. We add Lightning to our product. We are yet to add that to our app. That's on the roadmap. I think that will also help more people to access it and send money to their families and relatives in different countries, in different format, either Bitcoin or in other crypto assets. I think that just presenting that accessibility in itself is very powerful, right? And I assume from your perspective, your team is kind of building on STX and building that ecosystem, having an ecosystem that actually form a closed loop kind of economy, where it's not just the money, but also the use cases for using that money is also going to be very powerful in getting more people into this and democratizing their wealth, giving people more access to what they otherwise would not be able to access to. So those are hugely important. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just agreeing, like access was one of the biggest things for the foundation, which was the first hurdle. People getting access to the Stacks token, and Okcoin helped unlock that. And we've heard from lots of people in our community that it's one of the best designed, it's the easiest to use. So that's quotes from them. I've also
There's still room to use. I'm happy to hear that. But there's still a lot of room for us to improve on our product. We continue to do that. But we do get a lot of feedback from our customer base about how they want to do it and what they want to see. And we do take those into consideration.
Yeah, you guys move super fast. Well, I think we're at time, but where can people find you if they want to continue to learn about Okcoin or continue the conversation?
Yeah, you can always find us at okcoin.com or at Twitter at okcoin, or I'm also on Twitter at hfangca. My DM is open. Our team are quite open. We have a few of our team members quite active on Twitter as well. So feel free to reach out to us, DM us, or DM me. We're here to help build the community. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Hong. Yeah, you can find Stacks if you want to learn more too about being a builder, or just learn more about crypto from the Stacks Foundation. We're at Stacks.org on Twitter, and I'm Brittany Laughlin. You can at BR_TTANY. Would love to chat more and keep this conversation going. So thank you so much for speaking with me today, and thank you all for joining us and having us here at the great event.
Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.